Hi everyone, my name is Katie and I'm from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, and I want to talk to you guys about the Mobile Bioengineering Lab, which is looking at bringing bioengineering concepts to K through 12 classrooms. And so some challenges I want to highlight with engineering education, in particular with bioengineering, is that it can often be inaccessible to K through 12. It's usually limited to higher education. And alongside that, there's a lack of training for educators that are interested in bioengineering, but they aren't really sure where to start and they might have a restrictive budget in employing this in their classroom. And so this is where we can sort of look to outreach and look at experienced undergraduate students, graduate students, faculty in helping these K through 12 educators. Um, but the problem with that, sometimes older scientists come into these classrooms, might be an intimidation of there might be intimidation from that traditional mentorship dynamics between the K through 12 students and the older mentor. And so alongside that, our sort of proposal is doing outreach through undergraduate volunteer lines. And so alongside that, we also look at reaching students that are not necessarily interested in STEM. And so one way we can do that is going to classrooms, not necessarily just going to and hosting outreach initiatives for students that were already planning on going to those workshops or those experiments and lab activities, but those that were going to school anyways and working in their biology classroom. And so what I'm introducing is Mobile Bioengineering Lab. And so we have held this for 2 academic years so far. We originally did it at an 8th grade bilingual classroom in the Champaign-Urbana community. And this semester, or I guess this past semester, we were hosting it at another school in the same school district, but it wasn't necessarily a bilingual school. And so we worked in an 8th grade biology classroom alongside with their teacher. And we did a variety of workshops in the classrooms. And so I listed off a few here: strawberry DNA extraction, some of these that be familiar with what you might have seen already being done before in K through 12 classrooms. But what we're doing is we're hosting it through undergraduate volunteers. And so I just wanted to walk through what a workshop might look like. And so we create all of our own protocols, our presentations, we prepare all the materials for the students. And so as you can see on the left, here's a sample protocol for fluorescent secret messages, which was one of the workshops we did this past semester. And we work really hard on making them interactive so students are more engaged throughout the procedure. And so as you can see here, we have observations for students to write about what they sort of found out while doing it. And then I also included some images of students doing strawberry DNA extraction on the right. And then at the end of each workshop, which is something we've learned this past year in comparison to the previous year, is we're doing a sample exit slip. So students can immediately give their feedback, because sometimes when we do a survey at the very end of the workshop series at the end of the semester, students would struggle in remembering what might have happened, what they might have had difficulties in. And so going back to a mobile bioengineering lab, sort of like what we're looking at doing and evaluating the program is we're looking at the effect of the program on STEM confidence and interest before and after the program. And we're doing this through the exit slips, and then also a post survey that includes retrospective questions. We're also looking at documenting and sharing the tested interactive deliverables that we've created. And so, like I said, some of these workshops might already be familiar to you if you've worked in the K through 12 engineering education realm before. But we create all of our own deliverables, and we're hoping to share that for free with educators. And so one new thing that we're also looking at is we're looking at the role of outreach and near-peer mentorship in particular, because now we have this interesting dynamic of undergraduate students and K through 12 students in the classroom and learning about to discuss how we can improve the mobile bioengineering lab. And so I'm happy to go into more details about what in particular, what we do beyond what I've mentioned so far. But we're looking for ways to improve it, whether that's expanding the impact of the program, making it more accessible for educators, how we can integrate this into classrooms more easily. Because not all classrooms have the capacity to take on volunteer undergraduate or volunteers in their classroom.